Okay, chisel plow day, is this gonna be day 4? My stuff from Shoop showed up, so we can put all the shovels on, give her bite back. My stuff from Maybaugh did not show up, unfortunately. That means that'll probably be here tomorrow. But there's other things that we can do in the meantime. These two planters, I think one of them has the parts I need, maybe, possibly. I need a hose holder. I need to do some weed whacking up here now that everything's died off. Where's that bird? It sounds like it's like right close to the ground. Okay, we got right there. Something like that. That'd be perfect. So I need a 15/16. It's already missing off the Oliver. I think I already took the curly Q ones off the back that are for the cables. Yes, I pulled those off for a different project. I really just need to... I kept these planters around because I was going to take 2 and make 1, which I probably still could. Just, I mean, not that I need it, but I got that Oliver frame that's complete, and I got all the stuff. But then I was also kept around to put that 8-row together that I've got one of these days. But that was when I was intending to use it, and now if I do ever put it together, it'll just be a toy. And we're not really at the stage of life where we're playing with toys much, so. And then I go out and buy something like that. It's a toy, but I can't even call it practical, because for what I farm, it's not even practical. It's just, I wanted it. It was right there. And the kicker of it is, before, and this has happened to me more than one time, like way back when I bought that my Oliver 540 planter. That had to have been 15 years ago now. Maybe longer than that. Maybe, was I driving yet? I think I was driving. Anyway, doesn't matter. However long ago that was when I bought that, could not find an Oliver planter to save my ass. There was none to be had. Couldn't find any online, couldn't find none nowhere. It was just, that one was had been on eBay for like 6-7 months. So like, screw it, I bought it. Drove clear down to, what's the name of that town down in Illinois? The guy's always got stuff on Tractor House. Anyways, down south of 70 in Illinois. And got it drug up here, and then all of a sudden after that there was 540s and 543s for days everywhere. Like, you couldn't throw a rock without finding one. And same thing with that. Can't find any 4270s, can't find, not that I was looking, you know, super hard, but, and when you did find them, they were like way out west or, you know, somewhere stupid. Bought that one, now all of a sudden they're popping up all over. There's 2 more online right now. I think since I bought that, I've probably seen 10 of them come up for sale, if not more. Never fails. I buy something that is hard to find, then all of a sudden they start popping up out of nowhere. So, pull this thing down to the house. And we'll put them shovels on. And we'll work on something for a hose holder. And we'll do them hoses for the gang cylinder, and we can probably get the tongue straightened out, and then basically once that's done, I'm waiting on my parts from Maybach. All right, I got my shovels laid out. Finally getting around to putting them on. Been down here for an hour. Had a guy stop by to get a hose, and he's a I love talking to him. He's super cool. He's third generation on his farm. He's got to be pushing 80. If he's not, he might be over 80. I mean, he's been around. They've run a lot of equipment over the years, and he's got a lot of cool stories. But he oodles over this 270 because he drove one, or test drove one brand new, and it was 83 or 84. He test drove one down here at Plevna, and he's apparently, there was a thing where if you went into the dealer and just you didn't have to buy one, you just test drove it, they gave you a 4270 commemorative belt buckle, and he's got the belt buckle from the test drive that I want in the worst way. Okay. We probably don't want that on 3 for 1/2-inch bolts. You going in there all the way. There we go. Maybe we do want that on 3 for 1/2-inch bolts. And I'm gonna go do I put these on the used end, or do I just go ahead and do the flip? Nah, we're gonna put them on the used end. There's still meat to be had on this side. All right, it looks a lot more impressive with some actual shovels on it. So that's all done. And I went up to that planter, got that hose holder off. And what I think we're gonna do, first off, I think we're gonna cut this thing off because it's right where I want to put it. And maybe. I think we're going to drill a hole through this plate and just mount it like they had it on the planter, put a bolt right here, and then they can come up into it and over here. So we got to cut some welds. All right, post is mounted. Had to cut probably about 10 inches off of it because it was, I mean, it was obnoxiously tall. It was way up here. Didn't need to be that tall, so I cut that off. Got these hoses. I marked the raise hose. I tied them together here so that they stay bundled together and don't get confused with those. I tied them together back there where they loop up to go to the cylinder. So now that those are all prettied up, we can focus on these guys, which I'm going to change those port adapters because those are, they're called a bull nose fitting. They are a swivel fitting for pipe. So these are actually, at least I think they are, they don't look like female JIC. They could be when I get it apart. I guess we'll find out before I explain what it is. But first I have to do some rough measuring. Basically what I'm gonna have to do, I think, to make them how I want to make them is crimp one side, run them through, get a rough measurement, get them rough cut, crimp one side, get them run through, come back in, stuff them in the, mark them, cut them extra or cut them a little long, mark them where they need to be, then cut them off and crimp one end or the other. So that's what we're gonna do. Not to toot my own horn because this was sheer luck, but damn, I'm good. I just got it nudged into that fitting right there, but right now it's routed exactly like how it's gonna go, and comes up to right here, and in one cut, one shot, it is basically right dead nuts on. And then, so that will make that hose, and then for the next one, basically all I have to do is cut it about 10 inches shorter, and that'll go to that fitting, and it'll basically lay right next to this one. So sweet, one shot, no hose wasted. That's how you do it right there, son. I'd never do that again if I tried, but we're gonna take it. Right on the money. Okay, it's easier to push them through the back, so this one is the long one. This one is the shorty. And then it doesn't work out 100% perfect. Well, take that back. We're gonna have to redo how these are clamped in here and make it to where these, I don't know, maybe not. Anyway, I want these on top of these in here because they come up and they go to the second valve up here, because this valve stack is backwards. It goes 4, 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 top to bottom. So we want something about like that-ish. And this guy. Okay, I'm gonna go tie them off back there, and then we can even them up here. Alright, hoses all ran. I got them pulled out the same amount as the ones for the main lift, which I'm not worried about these hoses. They're in perfectly good condition. These hoses, on the other hand, are all scarred up and there's broken wires, and both Dad and I got poked by them, and when they start breaking wires, it's a matter of if, not when. Or a matter of when, not if, sorry. But we're routed, and that looks a whole lot better than running down the tongue like they had it. So I think we've reached our stopping point for the day, because I'm about out of daylight. So put my tools away, get this thing back up and park it, and call her a night. So hopefully, I haven't seen my parts from Maybach yet. Hopefully they're here tomorrow. Usually if they got to order parts, it doesn't take them more than 2 days. 1 to 2. So if they would order them Monday morning, they would have got them Tuesday, and they would have shipped them to me today. Ordered them Monday morning, they would have got them Tuesday, shipped them to me Tuesday. I would either got them today, or if they got them today, I'd get them tomorrow. So hopefully I see them tomorrow, and it shouldn't take long to finish buttoning this thing up. Alright, hopefully, with any luck, last day working on the chisel plow. These were the parts I was waiting on. So new strap for the gang pivot. Need to drill it for a grease zerk. For some reason it's not. All of that being said, they probably used it in I'm sure that this is just some generic, I mean, they used that same size pipe and every mounting style and everything for ungodly numbers of implements. So I'm sure this is just some generic, not specific to this. So there might have been applications where it didn't use a zerk, so it just didn't have a hole in it. 6 new pins to hold the gang to the rock shaft, and my new U-bolt to replace that broken one. So first things first, we'll punch a hole in this for a zerk. I'm just going to drill and tap it for a 1/4 28. That way it's one hole, thread it all the way through, won't be a problem. The end straps have it right here, so I'm going to put it right here. All right, center strap is on. All new pins are in. I got everything taken grease. So with that, we can now roll the gang back. And then I gotta set the plow actually before. Let's pull some stops out so I can set the plow down, because I want the pressure off of the hitch for when we go to do let's just do this. Let's see if I got my hoses hooked up right. I didn't, when I put them on last night, I didn't mark them and I didn't tie them together yet because I didn't know if I was right or wrong. I didn't lock them in either. I kind of shoved them in there. There, now something might happen. You've always got a 50-50 shot. Alright, so last thing we gotta do as far as I'm concerned is get this tongue straightened out. Or, well, it's not bent, but get it, it kind of is bent. But these gotta be slid back over where they belong. This has to slide back forward where it belongs. And then probably, well, we'll talk about that when we get there. So, bust all these bolts loose, hopefully. Okay, so I'm rigged up with a chain between the backs of the wishbone, and my hopes are pull them in out here and it'll shove it forward out there, and everything will just kind of land right back where it belongs-ish. But I might have to do it in 2 hooks. Somehow my binder got out of time. Okay, will it stay there is the question. For the most part. Okay, everything pulled up good back here. This one still didn't come up quite where it goes, but unless somebody knows how to stretch steel, that kind of is dictated by these, and you can't pull these in any further, so that can't go ahead any further. So I think that was just a case of mislocating the little stop lugs there. So we can tighten everything back up with a nice little coat of anti-seize. All right, drawbar wishbone is back where it belongs. It took a little bit more of a fight. This one went okay. That one was actually still back, and I couldn't get the new U-bolt in. So I got this side tightened up, had to unchain, chain to there, up to the drawbar pin, pull it or pull out on it so I can get the U-bolt in. Well, when I did that, it slipped back out. So got the U-bolt in, unchained it, chained back up to the drawbar, pulled it back over, got everything tight. But now, in order to prevent it from trying to slip again, we're going to do something I'm kind of surprised they didn't do to begin with, and we're going to add, because I got the buck bar, whatever you want to call it, right here. We're going to add another one over here that's bigger, probably by about an inch. We're going to put one here, one over there, and then one on either side right here, so that it can't slip back again. All right, we're gonna see if it's calm enough, or if I'm gonna have to throw a blanket over myself so I can block the breeze. So, random side mission before we finish up. Dad's trying to rebuild these two cylinders off of a grain auger. Apparently the condition or symptoms were the auger wouldn't go down. Found out why. The gland is so froze, we're actually pulling weight off the tires of the tractor and the plow. Like, it's picking everything up. For anybody interested, we got that cylinder apart. It took a lot, basically. I got on the forklift and we start picking up on it until we put the hydraulics on the forklift over relief, and it couldn't pick up anymore, which was taking a significant amount of weight off the back tires of that 30,000 pound tractor, plus whatever was taken off the chisel plow. And Dad had a big slug of bar stock that he'd smack the nut with, and it'd jump. And we had to do that about, well, we did that 3 times down here. It came up to about here, got stuck. And it was a fight the rest of the way off. But basically, and this is not the first auger cylinder he's had this type of issue on. When they build these cylinders, they're about as cheap could be. And because they're single acting, they don't need, in theory, turns out they do need, but they don't need a rod seal on this end, because all the oil is down here. There's nothing up here, it's just air. And when the wiper goes bad, which this one did, water can get down in there, and A, it fills the cylinder cavity if enough gets in there, and B, it rusted that gland, and it basically just rusted itself to the rod. So, and naturally on these augers, the cylinder, it doesn't stand straight up, but it stands up enough that water, when these things sit outside and it rains, will just run right down that rod right into the cylinder once that wiper's shot, which they go bad fairly quickly because UV. So if anybody's got an auger that's hydraulic lift and you want to save yourself some trouble down the road at the end of the season when you go to park it, take some good heavy, really thick, like moly something grease that will gob on there and not get washed away easily, and gob the end of the cylinder up right here and seal it up so that water can't get down in there. You'll save yourself some trouble. So back to the chisel plow. All these new stay blocks, or whatever you want to call them, are welded on. They're there. I shot some primer on them so they wouldn't get rusty. Not that that matters on this thing. Everything's tightened back up. All the parts that needed changed are changed. We got shovels on it. Hoses are done that needed done. She's field ready, as far as I'm concerned. Field ready enough for this year anyhow. Like I say, next year we'll change that blade and put all new bearings across the front. Just, if I'm there, I'm putting bearings on it. We're just going to make sure that they're new. And then we'll put new bearings and the wheel bearings on that bogie. But for this year, she should be ready to rock. So all I got to do is grease the tractor. I'll have to check the hydraulic oil since now that I've filled both cylinders, but you got to let that sit and let the air work its way out of it so you get a good reading on the dipstick. I guess my guess, because both cylinders were empty, so I probably lost 2.5-3 gallon by the time you filled both of them up. And it was a little low to begin with, because now that I've run it, this one leaks a little bit, but this one leaks the worst of the two. The rear axle seals, and it leaked. Front axle seals don't appear to leak, it's just the rears. But if you let it sit in one spot long enough, it'll make an oil track down the inside of the rim and out the tire, which you can kind of see that dark spot right there is what that is. So eventually you're gonna have to pull the rear wheels and change them axle seals, which that's a job I am not looking forward to, because who wants to bet that them taper locks don't come out of there all that friendly? They might. Not holding my breath. And then, yeah, that's not going to be a fun job. So, anyhow, I guess that does it for this project, and that does it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.